Good evening. My name is Melissa Zavatsky, and I am sharing my program plan for Algebra 1 Mastery using a logic model. What is the need for Algebra 1 Mastery? Algebra 1 is a course that is required in the state of California for students to be able to graduate high school and receive their high school diploma. Algebra 1 also tends to be the gatekeeper to other higher level college courses that students need to take as a prerequisite for algebra is the prerequisite for these higher level courses so that students can meet the highly competitive college entrance requirements in California for the UC schools, which would be A to G. So Algebra 1 repeat students are the students that I am focusing on for this program of Algebra 1 Mastery. And what I mean by repeat students is Algebra 1 students that took Algebra 1 in 8th grade and did not receive a passing score. After not receiving a passing score, they go on to take the course again as a freshman, as a 9th grader. However, according to recent studies, about 40% of California students actually need to repeat Algebra 1, and those students who do repeat Algebra 1 generally get the same or a worse grade the second time taking it, therefore not meeting the requirements and needing to continue to retake the course. This Algebra 1 Mastery program that I have planned will help students to overcome those reasons why they fail, including lacking confidence, their poor math identity, or the fact that they may be missing foundational understandings, all of which will be addressed in Algebra 1 Mastery. So this intervention course is designed specifically for one cohort of students that took the course as an 8th grader, did not pass, and are taking it again as a freshman in 9th grade year. Algebra 1 Mastery will be a course that is a pilot for 1 year, and we will include an evaluation to see the effectiveness of it and watch the long-term outcomes of that. Okay. The inputs for this course, in addition to having curriculum materials that are appropriate for Algebra 1 Mastery, textbooks, workbooks, digital resources, manipulatives like algebra tiles and calculators, other things, we need to have qualified instructors, which means that we need to have professional development specifically for the teachers that are teaching this cohort of students that will focus on how to support students in building their foundational understanding and filling in gaps of understanding so that they can feel successful. Professional development for this course will also go around growth mindset practices so that students are building a stronger self-efficacy in their math course. This course will also have assessment tools provided and administrative support. The outputs for this will be the teacher-led curriculum that would address the common areas of difficulty in Algebra 1 and the priority standards, including linear equations, functions, polynomials. And this will take place with the teachers giving direct instruction, but also facilitating collaborative learning, hands-on activities, and tracking formative assessment and summative assessments. Additional free tutoring through the Princeton Reviews tutor.com will also be provided, as well as parent engagement workshops so that students are also supported at home. Those participating in Algebra 1 Mastery, the deliverer will be the teacher that is a highly qualified and credentialed Algebra 1 teacher, so they would need to have a math credential or a foundational level math credential in the state of California. And the receivers of this will be the students in the cohort as well as their parents. Some of the short-term outcomes that we're looking for this course will include students showing a 15% increase in average quiz scores from the beginning of the course. Quiz scores will be considered a formative assessment. Students will also improve their self-efficacy as measured by a 20% increase in survey scores. A survey is going to actually be given to track how students feel about themselves, how they feel about mathematics and school in general, what their confidence level is, and how comfortable they feel in their math environment. And students will also demonstrate a greater engagement through a 25% increase in participation. We find that students that have to retake a math course or feel that they are in a more remedial math course tend to opt out and not participate in class. So we're looking for an increase of participation. All of those are going to be monitored by the teacher, those short-term outcomes. And that short term is going to take place from the beginning of school to the end of quarter one. Teachers are going to give those weekly quizzes and monthly tests to track student scores over time. The students are going to be given a survey. They're going to be given in regular intervals, including the first week of school and the last week of each quarter. So those will be the method of collecting information on how students feel about the course and how they feel about their math identity. And teachers will also monitor active engagement, student participation, and behavior. They will do this by, in addition to the quantitative data that they're collecting, they're going to on how many times children raise their hand or participate in class. They're also going to note qualitative data, such as student behavior during class, like attentiveness, interaction with their peers, and responsiveness. In the medium-term outcomes, so beyond quarter one, moving to quarter two, quarter three, so the end of semester one and moving towards the end of the year, students in the cohort of Algebra 1 Mastery are going to show at least 60% of the cohort of students in Algebra 1 Mastery will achieve a minimum of a 25% improvement on their average quiz and test scores. In addition to that, at least 60% of students in the cohort will achieve at least 30% improvement on benchmark assessments compared to the beginning of the course. The way that we're going to track that is that teachers will administer those weekly quizzes and continue to track that throughout the year. However, it's actionable in that the teachers, if the students are not meeting that growth target, are going to monitor and adjust instruction and give targeted direct instruction or small group instruction for those skills that are still needed. Algebra 1 has standardized benchmarks in our district, so that includes a first week of school pre-assessment, as well as a quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four. Quarter two and quarter four, the semester final benchmarks. Those benchmarks are going to be administered on the quarters, and the teacher will be tracking growth and areas of need for the students. Teachers will also not be the only people tracking this, because the teachers will engage in goal setting and progress meetings with the students regularly based on the data that they're tracking with their quiz scores, test scores, and benchmarks. With our long-term outcomes for Algebra 1 Mastery, we are looking for at least 80% of the students that are enrolled in the course to demonstrate a proficiency in Algebra 1 as measured by a score of 70% or higher on the end of course standardized benchmark assessment. Student enrollment in geometry, algebra 2, pre-calculus, those higher level math courses needed for A to G will increase by 25% compared to previous years, because students who have now felt success in a math course are going to continue on in the higher level math courses. And the graduation rate of these students, this target group of students, will improve over of at least 10% over the next 3 school years. And the way that that is going to be measured is by teachers analyzing the results of formative assessments of students and implementing targeted interventions if students are not on track for their goal. Counselors are also going to help with some of those long-term tracking, like enrollment in the higher level math courses and tracking the students for staying on track to meet graduation requirements. Algebra 1 Mastery is, this program is making some assumptions, and the assumptions are that the students that are enrolled in this cohort, enrolled in this course as the repeat students of Algebra 1, that they have some sort of foundational gaps or challenges that have not been addressed in previous math courses. Some other assumptions are that the students are motivated and want to improve their understanding and performance. We are assuming best intentions of students in the course. And that support systems are in place for students. So we have set up with our district, all secondary students in mathematics courses have access to tutor.com for free. So tutoring is already in place for all students, and counseling services are in place for these students, as the counselor will work in partnership with the teachers of this cohort and keep track of students. And then teachers are going to make sure that we are going to make the assumption that they have the content knowledge and the pedagogical skills to have an impact on the student improvement. There are some external factors that may be not in our control with the Algebra 1 Mastery program, and that might be the student's socioeconomic background, access to resources outside of school, including technology at home to be able to access the tutor.com. The school environment, we have no control currently over classroom environment, in meaning the facilities that are provided. Family responsibilities. Sometimes our high school students have responsibilities to their family, including caring for younger siblings, maybe even part-time jobs. So we can't control for those factors. And we can't necessarily control for the external factors of support of family or outside community members as well. Those are that we will try to provide education services or support services for parents of the students in this cohort, but we're not able to control the factors. Maybe the sessions that we have for parent information nights may not work with parent schedules due to their work situation or childcare situations. Overall, the program is going to be evaluated with a collection of analysis of data from the pre and post assessments to measure those quarterly benchmarks, those standardized tests. But we're also we will look for student feedback and instructor feedback with the new Algebra 1 Mastery model. And from there, will be used to identify the strengths of the program and areas for enhancement, because our goal is to have all students pass Algebra 1 by the end of 9th grade. I've included some references. Thank you for listening.